the other side. Make sure this time around when you're going back in, you see, you have the thread, space, thread, space. Now when you're going back again, this one goes in and you put it in so it will cover the space where there is no thread. This is how it goes. Always remember, if you make it smaller, it can stay longer because it makes the seam really, really, really strong, and then it would not be that easy for it to go out. You got me blown like a saxophone. Get onto my zone, get the action on. You can't feel alone when you're back at home. Back at home. Nobody ever got this. Like you got me from a waterfall, baby. Ooh, I got a mindset. I'm gonna take you everywhere, baby. Get low. Get low. There you go. Now, if you look at the sewing I've been doing, it's all finished now. I sewed right through from one edge to the other. Now let's turn it inside out. After the turning is over, this is what you have. If you look properly, you realize that it's already starting to look like the case of a bag. Now I'm going to put this aside and we'll start working on the handle for the bag. What I'm going to do is I'll show you how to do one handle, and then after that the choice is going to be yours. If you decide to do two handles for the bag, you just use the same method as is going to be shown here and then attach it at two different places. But for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll just do one handle and then you decide what you want to do after that. You use your scissors. Look at the side that has the seam and then cut right through. What you do, cut again. Always look at the best part of the material where you have less stains, less ruffles, and then less rags, to make sure that the handle is neat, because I can say the handle is actually the most important part of the bag, because when the bag is heavy, a strong handle is actually what is going to save you. So if you have this piece, you're going to fold it. After the folding, this is what you have. Now, remember I told you from the start that you'll be needing a tape measure. What you're going to do with this is you put the tape line on one side and then put the other one on the other side. Then you have 30. This is for those of you who want to do two handles for the bag. So when you're measuring the other one to do the second handle, you'll make sure that it's actually 30 inches and then one is not bigger than the other. You start from here and then sew. I'll say this again, if you have a machine at home, don't hesitate to use the sewing machine because it's always better, and then you can make a smaller seam out of it all the time. Got dreams, a matter of fact, and that scene got killed, and I don't act. Money drop that like a drop down. I be cock back like a top bag. Call it top night, take the top off. Let me top on, get your clap on. Get my Mac on, I'm in that zone. Ma, you got me blown like a saxophone. Get onto my zone, get the action on. You can't feel alone when you're back at home. Back at home. Nobody ever got this. Like you got me from a waterfall. Okay, there we go. It's finished now. Before you cut the thread, pull it and make sure that it's well straightened. Do a last knot on the edge. And then cut. Make it look neat.
I'm going to do is fix the handle on one side and the other edge on the other side. If you're doing this at home, always make sure you make it strong and don't do it haphazardly like I'm doing. But take your time, put everything in place, and then after you finish doing the seam here, you can actually make it nicer by taking a very beautiful button and then placing it on the place where you did the stitching. That way everything will look neat and nice, and then you can hardly notice where the sewing was done. The other side and fix it here. Call it top now, take the top off. Let me top on, get your clap on. Get my Mac on, I'm in that zone. Ma, you got me blown like a saxophone. Get onto my zone, get the accent on. You can't feel alone when you're back at home. Back at home. This is what the bag is going to look like. You have a bag with a handle. As I said, you can decide to do 2 handles. What I'm going to do now is get a model from the studio here. I just hope Chara is in the studio and fill this bag with things and have her wear it, so that will give you an idea of how the bag is going to look like. As I said, I'm sure we all have favorite things. Some of us love shells, some of us love buttons. You can have a very nice symbol or a brooch that you inherited from a parent or a grandparent. You can always put it on the bag and make this your favorite bag. Another thing is these pockets are not just there to be pockets or make it look nice. You can put your mobile phone here. If you are a reporter like I am, you can put a pen at the back of the pockets here. You decide. It can be a lip gloss, it can be a small eyeshadow palette. You can always decide what you want to do with it. Let me see who I can get around the office, and then I'll show you how good this bag is going to look on a lady's side. As I said, I was lucky to find Chara somewhere around the office. When it's all done, this is exactly what the bag looks like. We have lots of things in the bag right now. We have a makeup bag, a bottle of water, you have a hairbrush, you have a notepad and a pen. You decide what you actually want to do with it. Now, one thing I'm going to show you is, as I was saying with regards to the mobile phone, if you turn it like this, you can put your mobile phone here. You can decide to use this side of the bag, which looks nice and chic. You can also decide to use the other side of the bag. There you go. That was the DIY show for this week. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully I'll try and do my best to bring you something more interesting and great by the time I come back on the show next week. I am Aissatou Dabo, and this is Chara Sane. Thanks for joining us.
léeboon amoon na fi benn waay la fi woon mu ngi tuddoon Mfamara bii nag dafa toog benn bés rekk daldi ne moom daal dëkkam neexu ko lam fa ut fogut ne dina ko fa am. bon naka la ko mën a fajee moo di mu gànnaayu jóg li gars yi ooyee tey greener pastures ndeysaan mu gànnaayoo takka lépp daldi enu génn réewam ne mu ngay dem uti lu baax. mu jóge ca diggu àll ba wàcca dem ca teeru ba ba mu àggee mu daldi teg bagaasam yi daldi dugg a génn ba am liggéeyu baara ñi ni moo di lébora. noonu suba bu nekk mu xëy dem yenn ji ca saaku ya ba guddi mu ñibbi suba guddi bés mu dégg xaritam yi liggéeyandooyam yi di wax naan tey dey bésu samedi la. Tijaan nga baalal ma ci baat boobu samedi tey bési samedi la, samedi soir tey dañoo dem fecci bu sobee yàlla ak